Okay, well, thank you for joining today's webinar on IP cameras and DVRs and web server design. Today, we're going to show you how to install and network IP cameras and make money doing it. One of the big things in the industry is that the IP cameras, people find them difficult to network, difficult to get a hold of software to hook them up. So the average dealer will end up going to the job site and either after 8 hours of pure frustration try to call tech support, or what they'll do is they'll hire an IT person and they'll have to pay that IT person some good money. So it takes away a lot of the profit from the job. So what we're going to do today is we're going to pull the curtain away from the wizard there, and we're going to see what's behind the curtain, how to make it all work. So for those installers that are on this class, there's really good, real money-making tips for you. Show you how to do it all yourself. Brief introduction of who I am. My name is James Tejas. I'm the Senior Technical Support Person here at Channel Vision. I'm a Los Angeles Trade Tech graduate, and I've been doing audio, video, and broadcasting for over 20 years. I've done troubleshooting, designs, and installations worldwide, all across Canada, the United States, and far down south as South America. So if you have any questions on design, on installation, feel free, even if it's a little off subject, I'll do my best to go ahead and answer the question for you. What we're going to start with is some key features. Now, these IP cameras, they have a lot of features on them. And there's really not enough time in this 1-hour course to go through every single feature. But what we will do is we will go through some of the key ones that you'll need to know are some of the buzz that's out there on these features. We're going to talk about setup and installation. And then we get into the really big one that most people are probably on this class for, and that is on the networking questions and how to network these IP cameras. And you'll be pleasantly surprised that it is relatively easy to do. Let me introduce you then to our two cameras from Channel Vision. The 6521 is our dome camera. This is a picture of it here. Our 6522 is our bullet camera. Some of the key features is the HD resolution, 1600 by 1200, 3.6 to 60 millimeter varifocal, and that's where it allows you to zoom in and zoom out. The waterproof on it is IP66 rated. H.264, and which is MPEG-4, and we have MJPEG streaming. So this will allow you to have the picture condensed so you don't take up as much bandwidth when you're streaming the video. It has IR LEDs. The IR LEDs, those are used for night vision, and you could view up to 60 feet at night. One of the big things is the 3G smartphone viewing. That's important to a lot of customers. More features on it is ONVIF compliant. Now, ONVIF is an industry standard. So ONVIF, if you have other cameras on the system that are also ONVIF compliant, they will all interact together. You're not going to run into any problems where the software is not going to understand the camera information. So that's important when you're speccing out cameras. Some people already have cameras in place. They want to purchase other cameras. The Channel Vision cameras are ONVIF compliant. Very good information for you to write down. Two-way audio. You have an audio in and an audio out. PoE, we'll discuss this on one screen, and this is power over Ethernet. Another big feature on this is analog recording capability. You could actually take the output of either one of these cameras and go directly into a DVR or directly into a monitor. So when you're not only viewing the image over the internet, you could also be recording the information. Now on iPhone, one of the features is that you could see it on iPhone, and a lot of people ask for what app do I use for iPhone. Well, we put it on the screen right here. It's iPro SECUM. That's short for Security M. So iPro SECUM is the app that you use for iPhone. In the 6522 dome, the actual cover on the dome, that is vandal-proof. So you have a vandal-proof dome on the 6522, and you could put a SD card on the vandal-proof dome, and it actually comes with the SD card. On the 6522, we're showing you how easy it is to adjust the varifocal on it. There is a focus and a zoom with those two large flathead screws that you see on there, and then you adjust it to get the proper image size. As I mentioned, we'll talk a little bit about the power over Ethernet and what it is. It's the cameras will get their power from the device that's hooked to the network, whether it be their switch or their router. So you'd have to have a switch that provides power over Ethernet. So that's on the RJ11 cable, RJ45 Cat5 cable that goes from your switch to the unit. Power will run on that. Now let's say that you have a unit and you want to run power over the Ethernet, but your switch doesn't provide power over the Ethernet. What do you do there? Well, you could hook up a power injector to it and inject power over the line so you could have power over Ethernet. And this just eliminates the need for a lot of power outlets at the camera location. Some of the techs have asked for the standard or what it's using, and that's at the bottom there, a 802.3 AF, 15.4 watts. And that is the same for the 6521 and the 6522. Here is the cable out on the camera. You'll have the DC power option if you're not using power over Ethernet. You'll have the I/O terminal. Now the I/O terminal is shown enlarged at the bottom. Most people ask on the tech line is, you know, how do we trigger alarms? How do we trigger an event to occur? Do we have a relay out? And the answer is yes, 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 and yes. So this is the alarm in, and this is the relay out. This is very good when you want to trigger an alarm or trigger an event. It has that right there. There's the video output. As I mentioned earlier, you can take the output of this IP camera, take it to a DVR, you could take it to a monitor, and still have the IP functioning. So there's the video output on a BNC. And as I mentioned, you have your audio in and your audio out. There's the microphone input and your output, and the Ethernet port. Power over Ethernet, again, you would take your 6522 or 6521, plug them into the switch, and the switch would provide power over that Ethernet cable. Now, what we're showing here is a little bit of old school versus new school, and taking a standard CCTV camera, you would have to go to a some type of web-based server and then go into your router or your switch. That connects to the modem, and you have your computer plugged into the router or the switch. Well, with the new IP cameras, you don't go to the web server. The web server is built into the camera. So you just go directly out of the camera right into your router or into your switch. just like you see in the picture here. Kick the router switch right to the camera. No need to have any device in between. Here we're showing you the networking of it. You would network the cameras, or if you were to take the camera right to a DVR, you could network the DVR. You could view it on cell phones, iPhones, view it on the computer. And we have CMS software, which is the Central Management System software. And the CMS software is free. So that's big for a lot of installers that do multiple cameras. You could have up to 36 cameras on our CMS software. 36 cameras on the CMS software, and we send it to you at no charge. So that's really big. Some of you that are taking notes, that's one thing that you definitely want to make a notation of. So that CMS software will allow you to manage all the different cameras. It'll allow you to put up a group monitoring so that you know that camera 1, instead of pulling up the IP address of camera 1, you say, oh, I want to pull up the camera that is viewing the kitchen or the parking lot camera. This is more for a commercial use, that you could pull up the cameras just by the name and map it out. The EMAP, if you had cameras that were throughout the U.S. and said, I want to see the California office, I want to see the Texas office, etc., you can do that. So multi-channel monitoring, up to 36 cameras, and most companies will charge you a pretty penny. We do this for free. Now we're going to get into assigning an IP address for the camera. Now we take the scary out of installing an IP camera, because you could just click on search for device, and actually the software will find the camera once you hook it up to the local area network. That's what we're showing you on the screen. You put the software in the computer, have the camera on the same network, hit search device, and it will find it for you. If you need to assign a specific address, this is how to assign the address. We're going to go through this in a step-by-step manner because it's relatively easy. So first you have to click on Start on your computer. Click on the Run icon, and you type in CMD and press Enter on the keyboard. And this class, it will be available for you, so you don't have to write everything down. You could just take a few notes, and then later on you could review this information. So you go to Start, click Run, type in CMD, and hit OK. What's going to occur is you're going to get a DOS prompt. So when you receive the DOS prompt, then you type in the information that you see below. That is this right here. Type in ipconfig space /all. So just type in this information here at the DOS prompt. Press Enter. And this is what your screen's going to look like. Now there's a lot of numbers on here. Don't be intimidated by all the numbers or what the screen looks like. Really, there's just a few things that you'll need to write down. And one of them is the IP address. Now this IP address is not the IP address of your camera. You write down this IP address that's circled here, and you're only going to change the last digits. So the digits on the IP configuration, they're called octets, and the last one is called the host. So when you change the host address, that tells it that that camera is assigned this number. So write this number down. Remember, all you're going to change is the last digits. The other pertinent information that you're going to have to transfer from this screen is the default gateway, DNS server if 2 servers are used, and the subnet mask. So the default gateway, IP address, and subnet mask. So those three are shown right here. Just jot them down because you'll be putting those into the software later. So here we're just showing you that we have a step-by-step. This is actually from the manual. I'm not going to read everything on the screen, but this makes it easy for you in order to assign an IP address. The default gateway, DNS, subnet mask, how do you get that information? Go to the DOS, type in ipconfig-all. Screen looks like this, and those are the pieces of information you write down. Pretty simple. This is what a lot of you are paying the IT guys lots of money to do for you. This is what they do. Now there are other things on huge systems that they would do, but basically setting up a channel vision IP camera is going to be this easy, and we give you the step-by-step instructions on what to do. And when you assign that host address, number 9 says make it between 2 through 250, and don't use the same IP address as you have here. Remember what I mentioned, that the host number has to be different. Pretty simple. Assigning the IP address, put the IP address in here, keep the host number away, put in the gateway and subnet mask, and you're done. Now that will get you on your local network. Pretty simple, but there's one other step when you want to see it from the outside world. So that's where people tend to say, oh, now how do I view it from the internet when I'm outside of my local network? That's pretty scary. No, not scary at all. All we do is assign a port and forward that port from your router. So if you're looking at the screen right now, look at where it says port. There's where you assign the port number. That's right there. Then you have to tell your router to forward to the IP address that you created in the port. So this is actually a screenshot from a Channel Vision router. This is our C0514 router. You tell the router what you've done. The router is going to allow someone from the outside world to look at your IP camera. So you enter in the IP camera address, 192.168.220. That's the IP address. Whatever port you forwarded, 8006, and you select Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP. That's just a drop-down enable, and you've successfully forwarded the port on the router. It is that simple. If you have a router, because the question comes up, well, I don't have a Channel Vision router, now I don't know what to do. Who do I call? Where do I go? Now I'm stuck. Well, you're not stuck. What you do, and I'm going to highlight this, you go here, www.portforward.com. Now, this is not a Channel Vision website. This is a website where you go and you put in the manufacturer, you put the model number of your router, and then that website, they, at no charge, will show you how to forward the port on the router. So you have Channel Vision tech support. You have this webinar that you could refer to. And you also can go to portforward.com. And that's a real good website. We've actually tested it, and it does have a lot of good information in there on how to forward the port on your router. Okay, now that you're done in those few steps, what do you do to look at the camera information? Well, here it is right here. You go to your browser and you type in the address that you assigned to that IP camera and then the port that you forwarded. So it's http:// the IP address that you assigned to the camera and the port that you forwarded the camera. Then you'll be asked for your username and password. Now there is a default from the camera that we ship them all. They're all default for username admin and the password admin. Pretty easy to remember. What you want to do is change that and have a different password. Now when you're viewing the camera for the very first time, what's going to happen is that you're going to get this screen that you need ActiveX. Very basic. It's going to ask you, do you want to install the ActiveX controller? And you hit yes, and the ActiveX is installed. Those of you that are on the webinar, it was almost something very similar. Before you got on today's webinar, you may have had to load some viewing software onto your computer. So it's basically the same thing. You're going to get prompted. It's going to be the first time. It's going to say, did you want to install ActiveX? Hit yes, and voila, you're now viewing the camera. When you're viewing the camera, there are a few things that are on the screen, and I wanted to just go through the things that you see on there real quick. You could actually take a snapshot of what you're looking at. That's this button right here. It just looks like a camera. Then over here, this tool looks like a wrench here. That's to go into your settings and change any type of settings. Down here, it's a little difficult to see that. So this is your format that's going to show you the date and the time and the image size that you're looking at. Down here is the controls for the physical size of the streaming video on the screen, the stream that's being viewed here. This can activate your two-way audio, and it shows the number of users connected at the time. And this is your relay output when I showed you the events and the triggers. So this turns it on or off. So there you go. There's the live viewing, the key features, and how to set it up on the internet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open it up for questions. I know some of you, this is your first time viewing IP cameras, so we welcome a lot of questions. And I'm going to bring in another person to today's webinar. I'm going to bring in our product manager for the IP cameras. So just give me 1 second, and we'll bring on Jared, who is our product manager. Hold for 1 moment. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with and view this for some of the questions. And bear with me, what I'm doing is I'm actually reading some of the questions that are on here, so I have to make the screen real big. One question is the analog record option means that if I want to dedicate the internal IP stream to a public link for real-time viewing, I can still route the signal to a DVR to integrate with other cameras, which then can be done independently. Yes, with the camera having a composite video output, you could actually take that composite video output and then you would hook up the composite video output to the DVR, and you could actually network that DVR. Also, you can view the camera directly right to a composite video monitor. Next question is, does the camera software work with the new 3G series? No. The next question is, accidentally got view mode of 150%, can't see entire image. How do I reduce the size of the image? I'm going to turn that one over to Jarrett, and this will be on speakerphone. Okay, Jarrett, go ahead and answer the question on changing the 150% mode of the entire image.
If you're in that mode, you're in the highest resolution. What you can do to change that is either upgrade the firmware where it compensates for that, or you can go to video settings and change the settings so it's not the highest setting, meaning if it's 2 megapixel, it will be zoomed in like that. It will be a very large picture. If you go down to 1.3 or even lower, it will make the image smaller.
All right. Thank you, Jarrett. Next question is, will we get a copy of this? Yeah, I think it's talking about the recording. This webinar is being recorded, and you can actually view it online. What we do is it takes a couple days, we review the information, and put it online. Next question is, if the person installing the IP camera did not set up the network, they shouldn't be setting static IP. Okay, we'll go on to the next one.
No, it was continued.
Oh, I'm sorry, this was hidden on the screen. If the person installing the IP camera did not set up the network, they shouldn't be setting static IP address. They could be setting an address in a reserved area not listed on the router that was designated by another contractor. Automation, for example.
Generally speaking, if the IP is not static, if it's not routed out of the router, then really there's no way to connect to it externally. So if you do need to connect to it externally, you would need to either port forward it or have it in an area that is open in the router, a certain port range, for example. This device uses several different ports. It uses one main port for most of its functionality.
Thank you. And what about viewing on Mac computers?
Currently, we have no Mac compatibility, and we are working on implementing that, but at this time, we don't have anything that will view that on a Mac.
Okay, thank you, Jarrett. Next question is, have you developed any software drivers for the Control4 system yet for your camera?
As far as the Control4 drivers, what we have is a MJPEG stream that works with Java that has a username and password built into it. So we are attempting to implement that right now. We're going through the testing phases. We do currently have this working on AMX as well as a couple other systems, and have a couple dealers testing this system out as far as their control system and the streaming goes. Yeah, they can write their own drivers.
And then do you have a sample camera that they could view online?
We do have several demo cameras online, and we can send information out as requested for that login information and everything.
Can I use any number for port forwarding?
You can use any number that's a real port that is forwarded. Should be perfectly fine as long as it's not restricted on your specific network.
And our next question is, since you're talking about networking these cameras with the router, aren't the IP addresses dynamic? Doesn't this cause the viewing address to change from time to time?
Yes, if you do have a dynamic IP, the IP will change. We do have a service that will allow you to track that, dyn.dns.com. That is a free service that will track that IP for you, so that would be an issue.
Yeah, go to www.dyn.dns.com for that information. Next question is, what will be another option if more than 36 cameras are installed in the system? That's talking about the CMS software.
The free software we provide with the products that will handle up to 36 cameras, and we are working on something that will function with more than that number of cameras. Yeah, there's a lot of third-party software out there. These cameras do meet the on-bit standard, which would mean that it would work with a lot of different IP camera CMS softwares out there. So that's an option as well. But the free software we provide will do 36.
And next question is, how do you control the DVD remotely?
You know, I'm not sure if there's a DVD associated with any of these products.
Yeah, not sure on that question. You could call in and you could ask for James extension 1846. Next question is, no video settings seen on my computer.
This could mean if they're not viewing the ActiveX control, if it didn't install, they could definitely give our technical support a call, ask for Jared or James, and we can definitely get that up and running for them.
Okay, great. Recording IP streams, and can it be active by motion?
Recording can be activated by motion, depending on how you have it set on the specific software. Motion can trigger recording.
Very good, thank you. To view multiple cameras remotely, do you have to view each camera separately, or can you view all cameras together?
You can view each camera separately by using the ActiveX control, but if you'd like to view a lot of different ones at once, you can use the CMS software to tie up to 36 cameras together.
And we're getting down to some of the last questions here, and does it work with Droid?
Yes, there is an application in the App Store of the Android that will allow this to work with the Droid 2.1. That is the most recent Droid and a couple older versions.
And then there's a last question, which is not really a question. The person just put DVR, and I take it that he's asking, will you be able to to network the IP camera and view it on the DVR?
There is a video output for all of these IP cameras, the Dome and the Bullet, and you can actually put that video output into any standard recording device, into any TV, and you can most definitely put it into the DVR.
Yes, well, thank you for, that is the questions. Now we'll go to some of the audio questions. Let's see if I can get the audio questions up here. Bear with us for just a moment. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go open up the microphone, but I will have to put you on, I'll have to drop you if there's a lot of noise or a lot of feedback. So we're going to start with Adrian and see if Adrian's question was answered. Adrian, can you hear us? Okay, Adrian, your mic's not open. I see you had a question. We'll go on to the next person. Andy Hutchinson. Andy, can you hear us?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Thanks.
Did you get your question answered?
I did not. I had a question, but I think I found the answer online real quick about viewing on a Mac computer because you can't load in ActiveX.
Yeah, currently it isn't supported. We are trying to build that into it, but you can use a Windows emulator, of course. But that aside, we are working on it. You can view the stream. Like we can provide a direct link to the stream of the camera. The problem is ActiveX won't run on a Macintosh computer.
Yeah, while I was waiting on my question, I did a search on that, and I did find a program that allows you to load ActiveX on a Mac. I'll send that link to you in the question area, and you can review it, see what you think.
Sounds good.
That sounds really good. At the end of the webinar, we are going to give you the the email address for you to send something to tech support. So Jared would be looking forward to that. Thank you, Andy. Any other questions from you, Andy?
No, that was it. Thanks.
You're welcome. We have Andy, looks like Swain. Andy, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Did you get your question answered, or you have another question?
No, you answered my question for me, thanks.
All right, you're welcome. Bear with us while we scroll down through any other questions. Looks like Carlos Mora. Carlos, can you hear us? Okay, Carlos, I think you're having a problem with your microphone. We'll go on to the next question. And that would be from, looks like Chris Control. Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great, Chris. Go ahead. What is your question?
You answered my question about dynamic IPs.
Sorry, could you repeat that for me?
I say you answered my question about dynamic IPs.
Okay, very good.
But thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, in order to keep this webinar rolling, because it is only an hour, we will go ahead and go on to the next portion of our webinar. And as I mentioned, at the end of the webinar, we're going to have the email address and the phone number that you could call in. So if you still have a question, please go ahead and call it in or shoot us an email. We're going to go into some of our featured services by Channel Vision. Channel Vision offers 24/7, 365 technical support. We have 1 year and 10-year warranty, 1 year on our active products and 10 years on our passive products. Free trainings like you're experiencing today. We do free system designs. We'll design a system for you. And if you have something that you would like custom build, we have custom builds. Our product line is very extensive. We have over 600 different products on our product line. We have our Channel Vision structured wiring, where you can bring in all your wires to one central location and then distribute them throughout the home or business. We have IR control systems that allow you to control equipment that's in a cabinet or in another location in the home. We have our ARIA audio line, which is a high-performance audio line. We have a complete line of speakers. We have A-bus audio, and that's audio over Cat5. We have our intercom system. Our intercom system is room-to-room, and that's done over Cat5. We also have a telephone entry system. When somebody pushes a button at the front door, it rings the telephone, and you can talk to the person through the phone. We went over our surveillance solutions, DVRs, and our IP cameras, and complete line of CCTV cameras. Definitely want you to look over our line on surveillance solutions. Our technology, we have some SAT, we have video distribution, we can modulate signals, we can modulate over digital cable. You want to look at our technology line. And we have a new application guide with over 47 new products on it. You can find our application guide online. Now here is the information for you to contact us. Some of you, we may have not had time to go over all your questions, so you could contact us at 800-840-0288. My name is James. I'm going to go ahead and I'll type in my extension. My extension is 1846. The product manager that was online with us, his name is Jared. His extension, 1833. You can call the 800 number. Just give us a little time because we were on this webinar, so we'll need some time to get things together. But we'll welcome any calls that you'd like. Just give us a call and type in our extension. To reach our sales team, it's sales@channelvision.com. You could also call sales at the 800 number. To send an email to tech support, there was a person, Andy, that found the ActiveX for Mac. You want to go ahead and send that to tech support@channelvision.com. And our tech support is available 24/7, 365. Now, those of you that are dealers or even distributors, a lot of times you'll ask, how do I get a hold of this product? Well, we're going to make you a really good offer, and that is that you can get a showroom accommodation. We sell our products through distribution. But just for this one-time purchase, and it's a one-time purchase only so that you could demo the camera, so you could put it in your showroom to help you increase your sales to the distributor, is we will sell this direct to you. So it's not 25% off of list price, it's 25% off of the dealer cost. So this is huge. I encourage you that anyone that wants to view one of these cameras, wants to demo it, would like to put it in their showroom, please take advantage of this because this is the one-time purchase only. It's not to buy in bulk. It's just that you want to view the dome or the bullet camera and make a one-time purchase on it. We will give you 25% off of that product. Well, that concludes today's webinar. I hope everyone had their questions answered, and if not, I was able to give you the extension. So thank you all for joining today's webinar, and I'm sure that we'll hear from you in the future, and hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of our 25% off of dealer, and that's done direct to Channel Vision, and it's a one-time purchase only. Thank you all, and have a good day.